Okay, so let's see how we're gonna start this. 1, 2, 2. All right, let's see. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to show you something simple today where basically I have a computer. It's an Asus, whatever you want to call it. It's a PC 5111. And what happens is, in this case, someone needed to do upgrade memory, hard drive, and so on. So in this case, the first thing we need to do, you could see this thing, this bezel. We're gonna just take it off. So I could just get a small screwdriver, fillet, and what I'm gonna do, take out all these screws. It's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. So bear with me, it's gonna take some time, but I'm gonna do the best I can, as fast as I can. So today I happen to be home because the Northeast, some of you probably know or not, we had a snowstorm. So that's why I'm home today, and I thought about just going live. I usually don't go much live, so let's see how most of you will view this live stream. If you like it, great. If you don't like it, let me know. I mean, you know. All right, here we go. Just put the screws on the side. They're teeny tiny small, but the good thing about, I believe, this screwdriver that I have is magnetic. You see it, guys? Magnetic. Okay. All right, here we go. Because believe me, if you lose those screws, it's really like hard to get them back, and you don't want to do that. And you know what I also noticed? This computer seems to be like almost new. I mean, it still has that tape on it, and whoever did not want to take it off, so I'm not going to take it off. So I'm just going to leave it. All right, here we go. Taking the rest of the screws. Now let me see how it's coming off. But I don't want to force it. Just want to make sure. All right, so I took this thing off. You see it, guys? And all right, here we go. I also noticed that this thing, you see right here, it's a little bit busted. So I gotta make sure, busted right here, the screws right here still. And the reason I'm showing it like this way, and then this way, and then this way, I got like 3 cameras on me to see which one is the best. So this one I'm gonna leave it alone. Okay, so the next thing is, what we're gonna do is, you're gonna just flip this thing, right? We got everything here. Let's just make sure it's all done. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna do this thing right here. There's also other screws. You see them right here by the fan. A couple screws. So I'm gonna do that as well. Okay. So I'm gonna take them off, so I can be able to move what it's called. So basically I want to move this thing, you see, and let me just move this thing, because later on I'm going to be able to do that. Okay, so I'm putting this down, and what happens is, you see this thing right here, right where the information on the computer, for instance the Asus, the model, the serial number, well, not exactly the serial number, but the all the information about the computer right here. So I don't know if it has it or it does not. So you go right where the DVD ROM comes out. This is the one that you slide out. Okay, this is the one that you slide out. You see it? Just giving you an idea. So you put it down here, and also, you know what? I use like a nice rubber mat right here, soft, because you don't want to scratch it. So I go like that, and you push it, and this one pops out. See it? See, guys? Nice, right? Okay, so I'm gonna put this thing on the side right here. Now here you could see also another cover. Okay, another cover. You see it? So this one, if you look carefully, let me get my other screwdriver, which is this one. Another bigger screwdriver. You got basically this one, 1, 2, 3, 4. Those 4 screws basically are holding the hard drive. So this is where the hard drive is. But before you get to the hard drive, you still need to use your small screwdriver, which is the Phillips one. I believe this one, yep. And I have to remove this screw. There's 1, 2, and I believe right here, 3. So 1, 2, 3. Again, for this camera, for those of you who cannot see it, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's start doing it. Here we go. It's really a piece of cake. You just have to be a little bit patient because you don't want to break things. And again, I'm using a magnetic screwdriver because you could see teeny tiny. I know I don't want to drop these screws inside the computer, but in my case, if I do drop it, it's already open, so I can always be able to take them off. Okay, so I took this thing, I took 3 screws. The good thing about them is they're like white, where the other ones are black, so that means I could know which is which. All right, so I took this thing off. The next thing is you need to do, you see this right here? See how you pull out? You pull out like that. And I want to make sure. You pull it out like that. And you could take, this is for the data. I'm sorry, this is for the power, this is for the data. But in this case, I want to also take out the front bezel. If you want to take the front bezel, you can. But in my case, I really don't need to. I could be able to just remove this thing and that. And I could take out the hard drive. But in my case, I also want to take out the memory, and I want to show you other things. So let's just do that. So the way to do it, you see how these things pop up right here like that? You just don't want to break it. So what I'm doing is I pull it and I remove it slowly, and there it goes. I remove the whole bezel. And you know, you could see that before, the way it opens up. It's in here, see it? That's where you put your other peripherals or other nodes. Okay, so I removed that one, and now I'm going to do, this is something before I noticed. This is where it gives out the light into the front. And the way this one goes, I want to show you. First of all, I don't know what happened. Okay, here we go. This one goes right here, but it was off. So what you need to do, if this one comes off, you see it? I want to show you what I mean. See how it comes off? So that was already broken off earlier. That's what the guy came up and he said to me, it's not working. But this is just a light, so he don't care much about it other than he wants to replace or swap out the memory and a hard drive. But to give you an idea where it goes right here. Let me see if I can show with the screwdriver. You see right here? It goes right here. Now, if you're curious about this thing, you could just remove this one and get a new one, because basically this is broken, or you need to solder this thing right here. And I don't have a solder, so I'm not going to be able to do that. The guy already brought me the computer. He already knows that this one isn't working, so I don't have to worry about that. All right, so let's keep going. So now I'm putting this one over here, put my other screwdriver right here. So I removed that, right? So right now what you need to do is you lift this one up and you put it down. In my case, I really don't want to remove the cable for the DVD, because I am not replacing the DVD. Okay, but I want to show you, if you need to show how it's being done. First of all, let's get one thing at a time. This is where the memory are. So it's really simple. All you need to do is you pop it with one finger here, one finger there. You see it? And that's where the memory. You remove the memory. And just to give you an idea how much, this is about 8. So it's only 16. So this computer only takes about 16 gig. You could tell this is an older computer. Probably looks like this computer was or it came out with the Windows Vista. So I don't know if the customer needed to upgrade to Windows 10, 11. I don't think it's gonna go up to 10. I mean 11. It could go up to 10, but just to give you an idea. All right. So the other thing is, if you need to replace or update the CPU, we need to take the heatsink right here, the heatsink, and it's secured by 4 screws. So I'm just gonna do it like that. So I'm gonna, here's one screw, second screw, third, and this is my 4th screw. All right. Just to make sure it'll pop, that means they're all released. All right. Okay. And I could just slowly remove it. And there goes my cat in the background. Okay, so this is the heat sink. It's not a fan, just a heat sink basically. You see it, guys? So I'm gonna put it on the side here, and you could see where the CPU, there's the CPU right here. Now to remove the CPU, it's obviously you just have to press this down this way, and this one is gonna pop open, and that's about it. And looks like my cat's giving me a hard time, like, hello, you have enough food, Chica, and you put it back. All right. Now, again, let's go back to the hard drive. Let me take out the hard drive. So the hard drive is, again, with those 4 screws. I'm gonna remove them. One, all right, there we go. Just make sure you know where they put them. 1, and this is 2, and this is 3. Most of you probably do not have this computer. It's like almost ancient. Again, the reason I'm doing it, to show you something, if in case you ever want to do it, or you want to learn how to do it, or somehow you still have it and you want to do it. For whatever reason, I really don't work much on personal computers, but today I happen to be home from the snowstorm and I'm doing it. Okay, so you pull it, and there's a hard drive. This is it. And this is only about 750 gig, 750, guys. So we're gonna put this one right here, and that's about it. Now, with the CD or DVD-ROM, if you need to remove it, I want to give you some idea how it's being done. Okay, I want to show you. See right here, you got 1 screw, 1, 2, and they need to be removed. So you could go like that. For this camera, in case you're not seeing it, it's 1 and 2. All right, there's 2. I believe there's more to it. I just want to make sure. And that's about it. I think it's 3. I'll take that back. There's another one right here. 1, 2, 3. There are 3 screws. 1, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I have 3 cameras pointing to me, so that's the reason I keep repeating myself a couple times to make sure. All right. So this is how it's all being done. Now, the other thing, to give an idea what's inside this thing, let me see if I can point out everything. So this is CPU, CMOS battery. This is where the memory, and this is actually the Wi-Fi card, I believe so. And this is where the motherboard. So it's really nothing much to it, as you guys can see. Again, this is where the memory is, and this is the this is the CMOS battery. This is the CPU, and let's see what else I have here. This is the whole motherboard. To take out the motherboard, you could see it's only 1, 2, 3, I think about 4 or 6 screws, which I am not taking the motherboard. This is not what I'm doing. There's nothing wrong with the motherboard. The motherboard's all good, and that's about it. So now to put the memory back, it only goes one way. Again, don't forget, it is an 8 gig. This computer only takes up to 16. So I do not know if it takes any more, but other than that, that's all I know at the moment. So right now I want to put this in the back, and to put it back, you put it like almost at an angle. All right, at an angle, and you push down. After it clicks, you can see it clicked. You can see it. It's all done. Okay, now we're gonna put this back because there was really nothing wrong with the CPU. Actually, matter of fact, you know what? I want to take out the CPU just to give you an idea. I mean, there's really nothing wrong with it, but for the sake of the video, since I already took this thing apart, I'll take this one out. And let me see if I can show you. Here we go. And you take the CPU. Here we go. This is the CPU, guys. See, it's really nothing much to it. You just have to be careful with the notches, how they go. You want to put it back the way it was. All right. So now we're just gonna go here, lift up this carriage or the cover, and put it back. Now I want to show you something inside in case some of you are not sure. You see here the CPU socket. They have 2 small little notches on the CPU, so is also on the socket. That means it tells you exactly how it goes. You don't want to damage or mess up anything. All right, same thing. You could see on the CPU, it has 2 small notches. That's how it goes, same as on the socket. All right, so I'm gonna put it back, and here we go. And the way to make sure it's all good, you just move the CPU like slightly, just to make sure if it's not moving anymore, that means it's in nice. And then you push the level down, and you push it down. You lock it in place. All right, so we got everything here. Next thing I want to do, I'm gonna put this thing back on. So the way to do it is we're gonna go like this. And it goes only one way. It goes only one way, so I'm gonna go like that to make sure that these things line up. And here we go. What I was trying to do is taking another peek. You see these 4 screws, they need to line up where the CPU socket on the motherboard. Once it sits nicely, firmly, it doesn't move anymore, it means that's where it sits. It means you got it right. So now I bring in my Phillips screwdriver, and the way to do it is you want to do it like a zigzag. I'll show you what I mean by that. You press a little bit slightly down, and then when it stops, you just stop. You do the same thing. See, I did not go this one or that one. I went crisscross. So now I put a little pressure because the other side is already tight, and you could hear it. It's not really cracking, it's telling you it's locking. Okay. All right. There we go. It's all nicely done. Okay. Now, with this thing, again, we need to put the hard drive, and before you do anything, you just want to make sure how it lines up. So just in case you're not sure, what I would do is I would just basically go like that, for instance. The reason I'm doing what I'm doing right now is to give you an idea in case you mess up. No, so what you need to do is you take this thing down like that, and you say, oh, it doesn't go. If it doesn't go, it means you're not doing it. It's not going that way. So now I'm gonna go right here. For instance, I want to show you something. You see right here, that's where the screws goes, and there's one here and one here. So in my case I have 1, 2, and 3. So 1, 2, 3. You see them? 1, 2, 3. So that's how they go. So I'm gonna go like that. You line it up, and it goes down. Let's see if it goes this way actually. No, it goes this way. All right. So the drive is gonna go this way. See, with the drive, you want to line up the holes to it. See this thing? Actually, I'm sorry, upside down, because you need to. Here, I don't know if you could see it, guys. So this is upside down. We need to line up the holes. I'll show you what I mean by that. You see the holes right here? There are 4 holes on the bottom of the hard drive. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And they go again, remember? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm just gonna put it down this way, right? And I lined them up. Once they are lined up, you could see that. See how they're lined up? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So now I bring in the screws. And now you just gotta be a little careful because they could fall, and I try not to. Just tie it up. Just basically trying to let it catch. And I'm gonna do the same thing with the other one. I believe this screwdriver that I have, the big one right here, I don't think it's magnetic. Let me see. No, it's not. So that's why I was like, I don't want to lose the screws. Alright, here we go. Okay, so I'm gonna do now this one here, and I may end this video soon because there's really not much to it other than I'm doing the procedure backward. And I also believe my family upstairs making some noise, which I don't really want their voices to be part of this video, which is unnecessary. Alright, so now I put them all 4. I put all 4 screws, then I go back on each and I follow up, making sure it's nice and firm, but not too tight. There's no need really to tie it up, but you know, just a little bit. Alright, so now again, don't forget, you need to put this thing. This is the power cable. So we're gonna put this one in here, and this is the data, the smaller one. Alright. So we put them right here, and making sure we did not leave anything. We did not. So we're gonna put this in nicely. And we dropped it. So here we go. Here we go. Okay. So the next thing is we have those teeny tiny small screws. They're the white one. Again, I'm gonna get this screwdriver, which is basically, it is magnetic, and I'm gonna go right here. Now remember, you need to put the screws separate for whatever you take, and don't lose them. Again, some people, they may end up with less screws. That means, or more screws left behind. That means somehow you forgot to put them. So be careful. So right now, see how that screw it did not want to go in, but because I have the magnetic, it goes nicely. I could catch it and redo it again. And here we go. Okay, I got one more to go. Okay. Okay. Now again with this thing, wait, I think the screw did not go in. I take that back. It did not go in. It was like loose still. Okay, let me do it again. Actually did not catch. Let me make sure. I don't have much light, but I want to take another peek. I have a stronger light here. Okay, here we go. Oh, I see why. You need to line it up. It was a little bit off. And this screw, it's a little bit stubborn. And we're gonna try it again. They are really teeny tiny screws, and my screwdriver barely can hold it, even it's magnetic. I think it's losing its magnetic. Oh, here we go. I was just talking a few minutes ago about extra screws. I guess I can see how people end up with more screws. Okay, now finally it got caught. It did catch nicely. Okay, so it's all good. Now what we need to do is, I don't want to put this one on. I want to put this one. Remember, it needs to slide. So what you need to do is, you see these things? See how they are? They catch up. And you need to line them up with this. See how they are? You need to line them up with this thing. And here they go. Okay, so what we need to do is the same thing. We're going to go this way. And I want to make sure it goes the right way. So if I go this way, and you push it out and it doesn't go, that means we got it the wrong way. And I always like to never rush something or force it. And this one, see, it clicked, so that means we got it good. Okay, this is good. This is good. So the next thing is, we need to put, now don't forget this thing, the front panel. Now this one is, again, this is for the light, the front. It was not attached the time he brought it. And what we need to do is either solder it, or I could simply replace this thing and get a new one. But the guy doesn't want to spend the money, or he doesn't care about the light in the front for the DVD, so we're not going to worry about it. So it just goes this way, and I'm going to line it up here and just push it. See it? And click. The last thing is we need to do is, don't forget this cover right here for all the other inputs in the back of the computer. Okay, so I'm going to put right here. And just click it. Bring the rest of the screws again and put them. I'm surprised the guy still have these. He never took them off. Some people, they like to keep it like in its brand new case, or to prevent scratches, which is fine. So I left it as is. And usually before I do any work, I take pictures before I do any work to help me to put things back, or just in case someone says, well, you broke it, or it's, you know, something like that, just to protect yourself, just in case. Okay, guys? All right. And I got one last screw. I mean, it didn't really take me much, and I hope you guys don't mind me chit-chatting with you, because sometimes it becomes boring. All right. All right, here we go. So it's all done. Now I want to show you the power to it. The power cable is kind of like a funky power cable that looks like, believe it or not, like similar to a laptop. I don't know. That's what I think. To me, it looks like a laptop, but it's not. All right. Let's see. What do we have here? Okay, it looks like a laptop, and it goes right here. Let me show you the back. It goes this way. What I like about this small one, it has a lot of inputs. Some of the old devices, you still got your 9 VGA, you got your DVI or HDMI, and then you got all these analog, and then as well you got the USBs, then you got the Ethernet, and this is also equipped with Wi-Fi, I believe. It's a nice looking computer, but the only thing it does not do a lot of work. It's not for gaming. I think it's just simply for home users, and you could upgrade this computer probably up to Windows 10. That's what I know. Other than that, that's about it. Alright guys, you have a good day.